All right, let's talk about the final week of a big project. We've all been there, right? The pressure's on, that deadline is just staring you down. But here's the thing. What if that final push wasn't just a stressful scramble? What if you could turn it into your most powerful, most focused week of action? Well, that's exactly what this playbook is all about.
You are so close. I mean, you can practically taste it. All that hard work, the research, those late nights, it's all been leading right to this moment. The end is right there in front of you. And yeah, that's exciting, but it can also be a little nerve-wracking. You've come this far, and this last little stretch, this is what makes all the difference.
So, the big question is, how do you make this last week really, truly count? We're not just talking about dragging yourself across the finish line. We're talking about sprinting through it with your best work yet. It's not about just dealing with the pressure. It's about using it. And we're going to break down how to do that with 3 simple but super powerful plays.
Okay, play number 1. Now, before you dive headfirst into those final edits, you've got to pause and look back for a second. I know it sounds kind of crazy when the clock is ticking, but trust me, this quick little self-assessment is the secret weapon to sharpening your focus and making sure all your final effort is pointed in exactly the right direction.
First question for you. Think about the last few weeks. Has your progress actually picked up speed? Are you solving problems faster, maybe because you've gotten some good input from colleagues or mentors? This isn't just about feeling busy. It's about real, measurable acceleration. If the answer is no, that's a huge red flag telling you to figure out what's slowing you down. Now this gets to the heart of it. It's about quality, not just getting it done. Is the foundation of your project rock solid? Have you double-checked those sources? Is your data sound? In this final week, man, having confidence in the integrity of your work is everything. It's your anchor.
It is so easy to get stuck on your first few ideas, right? But take a step back, if you had one last look around, to make sure your work is fresh, that it's timely and actually connects to the latest thinking out there. This is the kind of thing that takes a project from just being done to being genuinely impressive.
And finally, be honest with yourself here. What help do you need right now? And listen, asking for help isn't weakness. It's actually a super smart strategic move. Answering this question honestly is the perfect setup for our next play. Think about it. What one piece of advice or feedback would make the biggest impact? Get specific. And that brings us to play number 2. You figured out what you need, so now it's time to go get it. This is all about activating that one key person who's in your corner. Your mentor, maybe your trusted colleague, someone who can give you that final burst of clarity you're looking for.
We're going to call this person your MVP, your mentor or valuable partner. You know who I'm talking about. It's that person whose perspective you really trust, who's been there before and who can see the whole forest when you're totally lost in the trees. Their advice isn't just helpful, it's like a cheat code for leveling up your skills.
So how do you actually reach out to them? Look, don't just fire off a panicked email. Use this simple 3-step loop. First, share your core ideas. Easy enough? Then, show them your results, the actual work you've done. And finally, ask those super specific targeted questions you came up with in play 1. It's a method that respects their time and gets you exactly what you need fast. All right, we're on to the final play. You've taken a moment to reflect, you've gotten some incredible targeted feedback from your MVP, and now it's time to bring it all home. This is where you weave everything together into that polished, final piece. This is execution time.
Okay, let's be real for a second. That deadline, it's not a suggestion. It is close. And I'm not saying that to freak you out. It's to give you focus. From this moment on, every single thing you do should be aimed squarely at hitting that deadline with your absolute best work.
So here it is, the whole playbook in one final checklist. You've reflected on your momentum. You've double-checked the quality and relevance of your work. You've talked to your MVP. You know what support you need. Just check off these boxes and you'll be ready to finalize that draft with some serious confidence.
You know, finishing the project is the goal for this week. But the real win, it's mastering this whole process. This intense week teaches you so much about how to perform under pressure, how to ask for help in a smart way, and how to look at your own work with a critical eye. So as you get ready to hit that submit button, ask yourself this. What did I learn this week that I'm going to use forever? That, right there, is the real prize.